Hey guys, Scott here, and we're going to talk about crypto markets today because something really interesting has happened. Um, let's start with what happened before, which is uh, September. We have this long basing situation here. When Bitcoin broke out, it was evidently viewed for much higher prices, as often happens with a long cup and handle breakout. We have a drop out to shake out the weak hands, and it goes on this incredible tear. And these drops along the way, they don't look much now, but at the time they were really scary drops. So we have scary drop, keeps going, scary drop, keeps going. Now here we have a scary drop that could have kept going but didn't keep going, changed into a regular bear market. We have capitulation volume here at this day, a strong move off the lows, and a very weak move down to retest the lows. At this point, with the smallest candle in this whole time, we start to think about potential breakouts. Now, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this closer. Sorry, I'm not very good with this trading platform. Okay. So let's look at detailed things. Okay, so one of the things we know about moves that have legs is that they tend to kick off strongly. So this is a strong kickoff here, and this is a choppy move back down. You can see how it's demonstrably choppy, and so a move up and then a move down, which does not break this old lows, we can start to become suspicious that maybe a bottom is in. What are we looking at to confirm that bottom? We're looking for a retest of that potential bottom. And here you can see we have a move up and a move down, which does not break this low. So we've got a confirmed retest. We've got an extremely small candle. The smallest candle that you can see on this screen precedes one of the biggest candles that you can see on this screen. Now that's something that happens over and over again. Big moves happen after no move. So, and the psychology behind that is quite interesting. People get bored, they stop following. It's like, oh, Bitcoin, sick of it, whatever. So we have a move up. We paint a shooting star, which is selling pressure. The bears have an opportunity at that point to run it back down. They do not. At this point, I'm thinking, wow, they broke the high of this shooting star, so the selling pressure is very weak. The sellers have one last chance. They drive it down for one day. They drive it down for a second day. But look at this second candle. Look at this one here. See how much overlap there is with the previous candle. We've got about probably 70% of the bar being overlapped, which tells us that there's two-sided buying and selling pressure here. Anytime we see an overlap, what we can say about that overlap is that neither side is winning convincingly. So we have the bears try and drive it down, but there's a lower wick, so there's some buyers there. We have the bears try and drive it down again, but we have a smaller range. So the selling pressure is getting weaker on the way down. Now, whenever selling pressure is getting weaker, we see an opportunity for the bulls to take over, put them to the sword. And here we have an open at the lows, close at the highs, expanded range, close above the previous day's high. So what that tells me is that everyone who got short on this day got completely fucked and will have to cover. Everyone who got short here is starting to feel pretty damn nervous. Here we have a small candle with a failed attempt to drive the market down. So the market is soaking up more selling pressure. If the market wants to go down, it has to go down today. And it's unequivocally chosen not to go down. It's made an open at the lows, close at the highs, expanded range, trend day, and most importantly, it's blasted through its trend lines. Now, if you recall, I told you that I thought the bear market in cryptos was over about here. Now we have confirmation, because the Bitcoin bears were expecting, like we had before, a pull up to this trend line and then fall away to nothing. Now we have a lot of evidence that this bear market is over. Now, what I want to show you is something really, really interesting, is that when a bear market becomes over, what is the psychology behind that? The psychology behind a new move is that the bus must leave empty. So what that means is that there's a bunch of people wishing they were long the best things and waiting for a pullback, which never comes. Now, in context, let's start going through my watch list, and we'll see what we can see. So I'm just going to go through the watch list in no particular order. There's a lot of coins that I don't like. So this is IOTA, the Internet of Things, whatever coin. This is an undamaged chart, and you can see how it's strongly moved off the lows. This looks like, on log scale anyway, it looks like an undamaged chart. It's not something that's completely wrecked. We have no retest for... We have no real retest except for this small one here. You see we've gone up, down for one bar, and then taken off. So one of the characteristics of moves that last a long time, that are the start of bull trends, is that pullbacks are very limited. They're limited to single bar pullbacks or intraday pullbacks only, and points where the bears should be able to take control, like here with this shooting star candle, just don't attract any fresh sellers. So here we've got a pullback which fails, paints a hammer candle, and we go up and away. This is a nice looking chart now. You could comfortably and safely take entries on that. Now let's look at it on BTC basis as well, because most traders are making their decisions on BTC basis, and you can see exactly the same thing. We've got an excellent retest here. It's at this point here, it's failed to break the lows. Now it's on. Okay, so this is a nice looking chart. Next on my list is Strat. Let's look at... Same basic thing, the very small low volatility retest. Now it's up and away. Let's look at it on a BTC basis. Exactly the same thing. You can see here there's an argument that it's transitioning to a trading range, but we've blasted through the top of that trading range. We have strong evidence here that the market is not behaving like a trading range, it's behaving like a trend. Now, it's still a low volatility trend. You can see we have volatility up here. But early days, but it's promising. Next one on the list, OMG. Okay, this one here, clean breakout. This is not a trend. This is a trading range which could transform into a trend. So this is not looking damaged, but it's not a clean trend. This is something that you would buy on a breakout, on a breakout from this point, or more ideally from this point. Let's look at it against BTC. Okay, on a BTC basis, it's looking much better. Any sort of move up at this point makes it a decent buy. Now, NEO is next on my list. Same thing, you can see how all these charts are starting to look the same in the good things. Okay, this one is a nice strong cup and handle breakout. It revisited the old breakout point. This chart is a little wrecked, so this has gone down a lot further than it should. This is not as appealing as the others because it's just gone down more. PivX, that's next on my list. Okay, on a long-term view, this was looking excellent. Now this diagonal period here is one of my favorite chart formations because it's working off overbought momentum through time rather than price. So it's not actually painting a pullback, it's still going up, it's just going up in a choppy way. Now what should have happened is that should have blasted, but then the market got wrecked, and here we are. It's still held up reasonably well. It's basically where it was in January. So it's looking like all these other coins, like the best of the altcoins, have already made a significant move. So this one's 557 off a low of 282. It's doubled in the last couple of weeks, right? Okay, the next one that I want to look at is a very interesting project which I keep hearing really good things about, called the Basic Attention token. Okay, exactly the same thing. It's gone up from, what, 15 cents to 40 cents. It's tripled inside a month. Again, what we're seeing as an overall thing is that the very best projects have taken off already by the time Bitcoin gives us a bicycle. Now, this is a really interesting phenomenon in markets, is that the market leaders will take off ahead of the overall market, and it's because of this bus leaves empty. So let's say you put your money into Bitcoin and now you're looking for altcoins. The altcoins which you really want to buy are the ones which are already up, 100% or more from their lows. Okay, so this is a really nice project. Let's look at it against Bitcoin on the same exchange. You can see it had the strong move up. It got wrecked. Now it's taking off again. Against Bitcoin, it's looking strong again, but it's moved a long way. Okay, what next? BNB is the Binance coin, which is one of the nicest looking charts in crypto. Against Bitcoin, you can see it's got this strong move up, pull back, strong move up to retook fresh highs, and it's chopping around now. But this is one of the really undamaged charts in crypto. On a dollar basis, this looks really nice. If we see some strong down move to there, that would invalidate that. I would jump from this. But if it breaks fresh highs, it's going to keep going and going and going. And okay, next things on my list. Icon, really nice project. I think it's a good project. This is like a Korean Ethereum clone type dealie. It's its own ecosystem with ICOs happening on the platform, etc., etc. So we have this bear market-y looking thing. We have a strong move up. We have a retest of the lows. The fix is in at this point at $1.88. I think I bought a Bitcoin worth at $1.84, and it's $3.64 now. This one's looking good. What else? Ven is one that people talk about all the time. I really like it as a project. I sold mine a little early. So this one got completely wrecked. It went down from like $9 down to under $2. Lost 80+% of its value. But we've got this same thing. We have a strong kickoff, a retest, and then the bus leaves empty. So the last one I want to look at actually is one that gets talked about a lot, which is TRX. So let's look at against Bitcoin basis. This is not a trend. So we had this huge pump and dump thing. It went up to 30 cents and then back down to 3 cents or something or other. It gave a bunch of false bottoms. So you can see this previously, this strong move off the lows and then the retest. This sucked a lot of people into buying who got wrecked. Sucked a lot of people into buying who got wrecked. Sucked a lot of people into buying who got wrecked. So this is a widowmaker type trade. It's fucked over bottom pickers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This is the shakeout. See this nice little shooting star down at the bottom? And then now we have a strong move off the lows, which isn't just a one day, 1, 2, 3 days. This is a decent move, a couple of weeks, and then a pullback, which only gets halfway down. So at this point, we're starting to look okay, but this is probably a trading range with the upper part of the trading range. So the smart play is to bank some profits here and to not buy until it gets past this trading range. Past this trading range, it's off on a tear again. And let's look at it on a USD basis. Same basic thing, right? So a good rule of thumb is that we look at this and say, okay, it's an uptrend, but it's not really an uptrend anymore. So a good rule of thumb is that after 20 periods of sideways bullshit, you stop thinking about it in terms of the previous trend. This one's all forgotten about. Right now, we're in a value range. So people are buying it down here and selling it up here. And so what we want to do is we want to do what everyone else is doing until we see signs that the market's changed. What would be a sign that the market's changed? A clear move out today. And I'd buy that on a breakout at 5 cents. That looks like a good risk-reward play, you know, with a target somewhere at 20 cents each, and a stop at 2.5 cents. That would be risking 2.5 cents to make 15 cents. That's a really nice risk-reward play if the bull market keeps going. Now, the problem with cryptos is they're all the same. It's what Daniel and I call the all the same turd rolled in a different colored glitter problem. They're all the same. If Bitcoin goes up, all these crappy things are going up. If Bitcoin goes down, the best looking chart formations are going to go down. That's just the way it is. So you have to plan accordingly for that. Cryptos are not suitable for using your whole wealth. They're small account stuff only, 5-10% of your trading account max. Right, guys? Hope that helps.